Afternoon all. You've been asking for YouTube videos, so I was down at Thomas at Zurawski Motorsport's garage and just dropping off a turbo, which is that bloody great thing. And while it's freezing cold here, it is full of really cool cars, so I decided to give you guys a look around at all the cars and the engines and whatever we got and show you what's going on. I'm actually here at Thomas's workshop to drop off this, which is a pretty badass billet Borg Warner S400 turbo, which he's going to use on a customer's car. And weirdly enough, although it looks brand new, it is technically used, but so barely used, it's, wow, look at it, it's perfect. It's good for about 900 brake. I got loads of these as well if anyone wants one, so tap me up if you want like 900 brake turbo for about 400 quid. Anyway, enough showing you turbos, and on to showing you what's going on at Thomas's workshop. First thing I notice is this BMW Z3, which, if you duck down a bit, it's got an intercooler. Although weirdly, the smallest intercooler I've ever seen on a car this size. That's barely any bigger than the one I had on that little 3-cylinder Daihatsu Mirai car I had. But let's have a nosy at it. Open the bonnet. The heaviest bonnets in the world on these. And it's a 3 litre and it's turboed. Not by Thomas, it's actually come to Thomas to do a proper job, because this turbo kit's a bit crap. Even the customer seemed to think so. It's just got the normal blow off valve, the tiniest catch tank you've ever seen for a 3 litre turbo engine. And yeah, an intercooler you'd expect on something with very little power, not a massive great thing. It's tiny. A lot of standard intercoolers are bigger than that. Let's have a look at other parts. It's actually quite a cool car with X5 rims and stuff. We've got a low mounted cast turbo manifold and external wastegate teal or teal copy, and although you can't really see it, there is a turbo down there. So let's get it up in the air and have a look. Thomas, can you do the honours please, mate? But yeah, this is something that could be awesome, and that's why the customer brought it to Thomas to see what he can do. Right, yeah, this is the turbo Z3 that a different tuner has done. It's a bit crappy even from my eyes, and I have no idea anything that's been done apart from what I can see. Don't even know what tuner did this, but it's been brought to Thomas to be done properly. Yeah, as you can see, the intercooler is ridiculously small. But this is a weird thing. There's the turbo practically at sump level. No room for an air filter, so it's got just a mesh, which I don't mind having mesh, but not when it's that low. I mean, you're literally asking for everything to be sucked up when you're practically got your turbo on the floor. And there's oil everywhere around it, even though this is only quite a fresh build. And the reason is, if you follow the oil return line, there's no pump, no electric pump, and the return goes straight to where the oil drain used to be, which is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's not going to drain like that, it's just going to spill oil everywhere. As you can see by the fact there is oil bloody everywhere. The customer seemed to say it wasn't even very fast, which is not surprising with this kind of mess. I mean, it's only an eBay turbo, some kind of cheapy 300 quid turbo by the looks of it, but the design is just a bit crap. It's got an external wastegate vented down to the floor, and the exhaust system looks okay, but the turbo setup design is just crap basically. But it seems this customer has got a built engine coming, so it's here for Thomas to fabricate some proper manifolds, proper, just generally good efficient setup, and the customer just wants something wild, so he's got to get something wild, that's for sure. Plenty of other things here, especially outside, as that looks like a normal Volkswagen camper van, but on closer inspection it's a bit special, because no dodgy old flat 4, instead it's a 1.9 TDI engine that Thomas has custom made with custom side mount intercooler. That's the radiator at the back, but generally you wouldn't know it's anything but a normal old Volkswagen camper van, which is pretty awesome. It's got custom turbo back exhaust from Thomas. Open the hatch. Let's see. No problems with cooling there. No air cooling anymore, but instead a very big radiator. Yes. This is the S400 that I brought here for Thomas in the first place. Let's see how it's going to look on this Z3. No more low mount, that's for sure. It's going to be obviously high mount, and a very high mount.
So you have to remove the wastegate. It's going to create some room, but it simply does not fit inside there.
Not at the moment.
What should we do? Make it fit somehow. The
question is, how are we going to fit this? But if anyone can make something fit, it's always Thomas. So there's going to be some serious cutting. I mean, a lot of people will say that won't even spool on an engine like this, but if you want 800 plus horsepower, you need a big turbo, and this is a proper size turbo for that. You look at Supras, 2JZs, they have to run a big turbo like this, and this again is a 3 litre like them. So with one of Thomas's twin scroll manifolds and a lot of custom work and cutting, are you going to have to cut the slam panel and everything probably?
Probably have to put the radio on the back, probably bigger as well. Make some space at the front, obviously remove that ridiculous
baby intercooler.
What could we use that for? Oil, as an oil cooler?
Yeah,
maybe?
yeah.
That would be good enough, but not for cooling out there. Remove that plenum, you have to fabricate equal flow plenum. And exhaust, probably out the bonnet, 4-inch. That's what the customer wants. And obviously there's no space to go 4-inch exhaust down the floor, because obviously on these cars, right-hand drive, there's simply no space. 3-inch yes, but 4-inch no.
That's the trouble with these.
3-inch, you know, it's going to be a massive restriction on this turbo.
Yeah, that's the trouble with right-hand drive BMWs. With the engine tilted towards the driver's side a bit, the steering column and everything has to go in the room where the downpipe normally would. And like Thomas said, there's room for just about 3-inch, which is a bit restriction after maybe 450, 500 brake, and he wants, well, the customer's happy to have as much as possible, maybe 800. What did he say the engine was good for?
The engine was built guaranteed at 850 at the crank, so you're probably going to push on the limit and then tune it down maybe to 750 to stay in the safe range. But again, it's all guessing work, because obviously we see the equal flow plenum, how you improve the efficiency of the engine, so you may even push a little more and still be safe.
Yeah.
So we're going to see this on the mapping. It's all guesswork.
Yeah.
It's not something standardized that we do every day, so
yeah,
you just estimate stuff. Usually it's always better than we expected. Hopefully this time as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. The customer wants something wild, so it's time to give him something wild.
Yeah, definitely. If you want extreme, it's going to be extreme.
Yeah, I mean at the moment it's a bunch of eBay parts not designed very well. The main thing now is going to be change eBay parts for custom work and design properly. So, which is what Thomas specialises in. So that'll be the last time hopefully it's seen like this. I mean, even from this shot the turbo looks amazing. So that's what it needs, and even if it's poking out the bonnet a little bit, like I said, the customer wants wild, so that's as wild as you can get. Yeah, Thomas, as well as doing Zurawski Motorsport, he's been doing a lot with four-wheel drive vehicles, which has become Concept Overland, which is doing custom four-wheel drive stuff, which is what we can see a couple of out here. First, we'll have a quick nosy at is this Jeep Cherokee. Did you say it's your wife's one, is it?
Yeah, this was my not ex-wife's, my wife's ex-car. She sold it to a friend of ours. Yeah. She used to drive it for almost 2 years. Funny thing is, we built the car in about a week's time.
Yeah.
We usually go to Scotland.
Yeah.
In that week, we've done a 1.9 TDI conversion from the Golf. And we went to Scotland, we went back, then my wife drove it. The first time she drove that car, it was in a small 3-hour competition, and she did the first place. And from there, obviously, she's hooked up in the 4x4s. After almost 2 years using this, she sold it to a friend of ours. Now, after using it for 6-7 months, he broke it because of abusing it. He broke the flex plate, so we have to rebuild a gearbox and the flex plate and all that stuff. But yeah, that's a very capable car. They're really good.
So let's have a look at it. So it's the Jeep transmission still, is it?
It's a still Jeep automatic transmission. And no, it's locked.
Locked, okay.
And yeah, it's 1.9 TDI, remapped, probably 150 brakes, 160. But surprisingly, they're really torquey engines.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people are saying, "Oh, will that pull the?" Because obviously originally they're equipped with 4-litre engines.
Yeah.
But the 4-litre from the Jeep it's not a really efficient engine. It's a 4-litre only makes 170 brakes.
Yeah.
And it's horrible on fuel. Surprisingly, the 1.9 actually is more torquey.
Yeah, I was going to say, I bet it makes a lot more torque than the 4-litre. Yeah.
It's actually faster than 1.9 than the 4-litre. It's an old, old engine.
Old, yeah, they're not good engines, but if the 4-litre with no torque, well, not much torque compared to the turbo diesel is good enough, then you can imagine this is far better.
More enjoyable.
Yeah, exactly. This is probably the craziest one, which looks like a Renault van. If I step back, you can see the size of it.
It is.
It is still a big Renault van, but underneath it's really not, as you might have told by the wheels and the arches, and the fact the door now hinges upwards. Do you want to open it up? The reason it hinges upwards is because the wheels and arches are so big it can't be a sliding door anymore. And yeah, this is Thomas's own overland off-roading vehicle, because you can carry a hell of a lot more in a converted van. But obviously still a work in progress, as you see, but it is working. And these vans, well, I feel from the UK you probably know them, but they are just front wheel drive Renault vans normally. What engine are they normally?
This was 1.9.
Yeah.
You see 100 brakes.
Yeah, 100 horsepower, 1.9 litre front wheel drive Renault van. But should we open the bonnet?
Yeah.
It's a bit different now.
It's got 300 brakes.
Might look like a front wheel drive Renault van, but under the bonnet it's a 3-litre BMW turbo diesel engine, modified to make about 300 horsepower, and how much torque you reckon? It's going to be a lot more than that.
Nearly 700, I would say, 650.
Yeah, 650, 700 newton meters of torque, and it's 4-wheel drive, which, oh nice, that's proper off-roading damage that is, yeah, it gets used properly. But yeah, this is, as you can tell, that's the firewall all the way back there. It is not standard at all, and no, it's not front wheel drive anymore, and it's not rear wheel drive like the BMWs normally are. It's actually 4-wheel drive. And what's it used transmission wise?
We're using actually the 6-speed original BMW transmission.
Yeah.
Remotely fitted Jeep transfer case, which work out pretty simple. Nissan Patrol axles, Y61s from 31-inch, 35-inch tires, sorry, on beadlock wheels. Lockers front and back, locker on the back, in the middle. So yeah, it's really fully 4x4 off-road capable.
And you've used it off-road, and it is very good.
Obviously, it's not designed to go off-road; it's designed to go expedition. So this is way too much that you need. It will be enough half of this stuff.
Yeah.
It's always better to have more than you need than the other way around.
Yeah.
So engine is a bit excessive, size of the tires is a bit excessive, but safe
it works.
way.
Yeah.
Safe way.
It works.
But it drives comfortably. We drove it over just over 100 miles per hour on these tires, and it's really comfortable at that speed.
That's the thing. One of these vans at 100 mile an hour, when they're standard, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not too good, but even on these big tires, 4-wheel drive, proper 4-wheel drive, and a 3-litre BMW engine, it does over 100 miles an hour on the motorway, no problem. See if we can have a quick look underneath. As you can see, a big front axle, patrol stuff, and rear axles. This is, it's not your ordinary Renault van, that's for sure. It is the craziest thing, and it's basically done as a bit of a demo car for Thomas's ability to build stuff, off-road stuff for Concept Overland, which is, well, one of his two main companies going on. Sit from the back, obviously the spare wheel, and yeah, it's a proper bit of kit. We'll go back inside now and have a look at just what's going on in here. But here's a car you might have seen, well, off and on for many years. And this was your wedding car as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, this was actually,
yeah.
It is actually not legal.
Yeah, this is.
Nice for the star and MOT on it, and yeah, it was a wedding car.
Yeah, this
but
is.
At that time, it was a mid-engine with SR20.
Yes. Yeah, this car is a road car, although it's about as extreme as you can get. It's fully road legal. Thomas drove to his wedding in it, and it's had various guises. As you can tell, it's a S14 200SX, but it originally had the SR20 DT engine in it, but mid-mounted, where the engine began around about here and went backwards. How much power was it making then?
It was just over 400 brakes, 420.
Yeah, 420 horsepower SR20, rear-wheel drive still, with a GT3071 or something on it, I think, wasn't it?
76, I believe.
Yeah, GT3076 turbo, mid-mounted SR20, and as you can see, it's seriously caged up road car, but an absolute animal, fully lightweight, big brakes. The handbrake is BMW M3 H-beam conrods. This is his pedals. Thomas likes to do custom things, to say the least, and all three pedals are pistons. What are they off the pistons?
These actually are 1UZ.
Yeah, they're
same as the conrods.
Yeah, they're Toyota 1UZ pistons and conrods as the brake, accelerator and clutch pedal at the moment. And under the bonnet, while it did have an SR20, this is this the third engine it's had?
This is, no, because we had SR20 first, then I had 1GZ inside with the 154 gearbox.
Oh yeah.
But it broke completely there, obviously. It was, because the car with the SR20 was completely 50-50 weight balance.
Yeah.
It was exactly a ton, which was the strength of this car. It was built for time attack. 1GZ with that gearbox is just bring that obviously weights too heavy.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. And then before finishing that, we fit 1UZ with the BMW gearbox.
Yeah.
Which I never finished.
Yeah.
Because it took ages. And then after the 1UZ, we put this one in. But in the standard position. So we rebuilt the firewall, the transmission tuner as original, because obviously it was for most races, especially for drifting, it was not legal.
Yeah,
with the engine.
you couldn't change the firewall anymore.
They changed the rules about 6 years ago, so it was limited. Because then I want to sell the car eventually. It's a very limited market.
Yeah,
with the mid-engine.
Exactly.
That's the only reason this engine is
where it is.
Where it should be.
Yeah.
In the first place.
Yeah. So now, the current engine, which is one to really make the purists cry, is a Mercedes OM606 turbo diesel engine in a Nissan 200SX. It's no ordinary OM606, as you can see. It's got a big whole set HX40 turbo on one of Thomas's custom twin scroll manifolds, a equal length plenum that Thomas made as well, which is the same style as you see on rallycross cars and WRC cars, which helps get equal flow to each inlet runner. Obviously big front mount intercooler, rear mounted radiator, and as Thomas said, the only reason this isn't with the engine far back into the bulkhead, which is what a lot of the previous engines had, is purely now with the competition rules these days, they don't allow modified bulkheads, and when he actually finally sells the car, if you've got a car with a modified bulkhead, nobody wants to buy it anymore, whereas originally, when this was SR20 and then 1JZ, with the modified firewall it can be pushed right back, which he had wanted for time attack and also used it for a bit of drifting, but these days it's just not allowed in the rules. So you've got to be realistic when you build cars, because they're going to be sold one day. So yeah, the firewall's been rebuilt and it's back to standard position, which isn't ideal when the original SR20 sort of began. The front cylinder was around about there, whereas now it's where you imagine a normal, like you see 2JZs in S bodies, it's right at the front. So as you can see by how it sits, These OM606s are no bigger than a 2JZ or a 1JZ really. It sits in roughly the same place in the engine bay as you see all the JZS body conversions, and it's no higher either, to be honest. It's possible as he gets on with it, Thomas will do some build videos on this, so I'll put links to Thomas's Facebook pages and his YouTube pages, so hopefully you can check them out and subscribe to them as well and see more of what's going on. Aside from the cars, there's all sorts going on. As you can see, he does a lot of fabricating, so there's big gas tanks everywhere. But this is a very high spec 1UZ built for a customer who actually hasn't turned up for a long time to pick it up, which is strange because it's a serious bit of kit with a billet ball Warner turbo, custom tubular manifolds, a custom equal flow inlet plenum. It's a fully built engine, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Cams, springs, it should be at least 10,000 up.
Yeah. As well as that, as you see, he's got his welding table full of bits, the obligatory turbos from various customers, manifolds. What's that one from, Thomas? Is that the MX-5 one?
No, that one is actually SR20 twin scroll.
Oh yeah.
Twin scroll manifold, the nice merge collector.
Yeah, that's yeah.
This is the MX-5 one. This is just a prototype. Or a mock one.
Ah, that was it. I remember there was an MX-5 one. Yeah.
He's been sitting here for years.
Yeah.
This one here.
Your MX-5 owners, turbo owners, want to a good manifold. Thomas nearly finished one years ago.
These are the pieces for the M52 M3. 3 cylinders. There are loads of jigs for the Porsche 911 turbo manifolds. Loads of stuff.
Yeah. Loads of flanges and stuff.
Flanges, E-flanges, M50 flanges, 1UZ flanges. This is actually, these are flanges for
the Mercedes?
Porsche.
No, Porsche. Yeah, this is a KKK. Yeah, that's it.
Porsche turbos. And loads of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, Thomas, while he mostly does custom stuff, he wisely keeps templates and things of, you know, previous cars he's built because it makes it easier for the next ones. So, hence why you've got an SR21 on the wall and a very dusty MX-5 turbo manifold, which can easily be replicated for a customer that wants a good one, because it's sure better than the typical cast manifolds you see on MX-5s these days. So yeah, that is actually Thomas's welding chair. This is my race seat. Yeah, his race seat.
Because it gently and perfectly takes shape of my bottom.
So yeah,
finish, just take it out and it's away.
Easily mobile, R888 race seat for welding.
It's been with me for 8-9 years now.
Yeah.
Never changed it.
The longest lasting R888 tyre ever. Still. Yeah. And that's because it's a welding chair.
Stock one is throttle body. Yeah. Which people don't appreciate, but they're actually very good because it's over 70 mil, I think, internal. They're pretty precise, they're good quality, so why spending lots of money on the aftermarket ones when you can modify these? Yeah. Put on the lathe, mill it down, remove all the stuff you need, because usually they got lots of stuff here, all the vacuums and valves that you don't need. We weld on aluminium 3-inch V-band, and it simply goes on the plenum. Obviously you got the gasket and all that stuff, and it goes here. And the beauty is you can just turn it whatever you want, whatever position suits you. Yeah? So it's fairly simple.
Adaptable.
It's a good solution with the V-bands, aluminium V-bands.
Yeah, well that's the thing, the standard throttle body everybody throws away and fits like these random Chinese ones, but
these are much better.
Yeah. I mean, Toyota stuff's always good quality, and when it's a big throttle like that, just some good modifications like you've done.
Plus you don't have to spend money, you already have them when you get a Dono car.
Yeah.
So look, it's not shiny as eBay stuff.
Yeah.
So some people might think it's not good because it's not shiny, but in the real world it works completely opposite.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or you can have one of these. Yeah, this is a custom board for that Z3 turbo, which is a beautiful piece of engineering, very nicely done. And again, it's not shiny as the eBay ones.
Yeah, well that's the thing.
So,
the best stuff isn't the shiniest stuff.
No.
The shiniest stuff is usually straight from eBay, straight from China. I mean, that is I don't know how much that is, but it looks like an expensive bit of kit.
Yeah, I
Very
would say
expensive.
this is at least 400 quid.
Yeah.
At least.
But it's far better than any of the shiny anodized eBay stuff, that's for sure.
Yes.
Proper. How big is it? 90 mil?
It's not that big. I think this is 80 mil.
Yeah.
Check it out. 75 mil,
Yeah.
which is exactly what I recommend, because usually you go 3-inch boost pipes. No point to go for the bigger throttle body.
No. Well, that's the thing. 75 mil can do well over 1,000 horsepower with boosts. So these people going for big throttles, all they're doing is losing the throttle response, aren't they? So.
A friend of mine, he used a 70 mil throttle body on his Evo 8 or 9 engine, 850 brakes.
Yeah. It's
no
fine.
resistance whatsoever.
Yeah.
Actually, upgrading the size of the throttle body too big, it's just going to reduce the feedback, the feeling from the throttle.
This has basically been a overview of everything that Thomas is. As you see, tyres up there, mixture from drifting and off-roading. Little quad bike. Part of a serious 4-inch exhaust there as well. But yeah, all of these projects are either finished or work in progress, but there's plenty more cool stuff that can be done with them. So if you guys want to see more, then as well as subscribing to Thomas's channels, which I'll put in the link in the description, then just let me know in the comments what you think and if you want to see more, and watch this space. Stretch, and I'm off. Sound. See you later. Say bye bye, Thomas.
Bye bye. See you next one.
Alright, ta-ra.